Hello, if you're new to this channel, my name is Igor and I am Master's mostly open water swimmer. And as every swimmer, most important equipment for swimmers are goggles. As you can see, these are all my goggles. But let's go back in time a little bit. When I was young, I was playing water polo in Serbia, and of course we didn't use any goggles. So that I don't have that experience for my childhood, and then I had a longer break, and then again I was starting with swimming as a master's swimmer. And of course I also needed goggles. So I was starting with experimenting. First I tried some cheap goggles, I also tried the Swedish goggles. And in 2012 I was swimming 100-meter butterfly on Hungarian Masters Championship. And when I jumped into the water, the goggles fall down, and with the next stroke they go back to the place, but full of water. And then when I was turning, I stopped for a moment to let out the water from the goggles and swim back, so that was a disaster. So I decided to go further and to find the perfect goggles for me. Okay, but that happens to the best, well, right, Michael?
Semi-final. We mentioned the goggles filling up with water in the 200 fly. How are they doing? Oh my gosh, they're leaking a little bit again.
Okay, let's continue. A few months later, I bought these. These are my first Fastskin Elite Goggles. I was so happy with these goggles because they fit so perfectly to my head that I can even jump into the water without strap, and they will stay in one place. There are with these three bridges, and well, I'm using them with this biggest one, but I know I would like to have something between, because for example this Nabaiji Be Fast comes with screwdriver, and here you can adjust for any distance you want. You're not limited to 3 sizes for this bridge. Anyway, so I actually 3D printed this version. I have a video about this, you can find the link in the description below. Even with this largest bridge, they are they fit perfectly to my head. I noticed there are fog resistance. Of course, they were fog resistant for first 3 weeks, then they became foggy, of course. I didn't find the goggles which are continuously fog resistant, but on competition, when it is important, I'm using this Nabaiji anti-fog marker, and it really helps to keep it anti-fog for, I don't know, 2 hours. Also I have a video about that, so you can check also in the description of the video you can find the link. And next was to find out do they float or not. First, when I just put them in the water, I noticed, oh, they float, but then I noticed there is a small bubble below the lens. But in most cases they will sink, so you have to be careful not to lose them in the water if you are swimming in the open water. What next? The strap. I like the strap. You can change the size very quickly. Of course, that's not so important thing, but on master swimming competitions, sometimes we have several races in one day. For example, I swim 50-meter freestyle. I need very tight this strap. And later, maybe 1 hour later, I will swim 800 meters. Then I need I have to change this size because I want a comfortable measurement. Let me show you how quickly can I change this. And then, after 2 years of using, I was swimming on Serbian open water master swimming competition, and when I was starting with swimming, I noticed the water leaks in. What happened? I thought that maybe some grass go between glasses and my skin or something, and then after the race I noticed that this rubber broke. I don't know what's happened. These are my first goggles, so let me show you. I hope it can be seen on camera. Same with the on the other side, on same place. I was very sad because these goggles are in perfect condition. The only problem is this rubber here. Anyway, so I had to buy the next one. So in 2014 I bought, I think this one. No, this one, sorry. And same thing. They were perfect, everything was fine. And after 2 years of using, maybe a little bit less than 2 years, again this rubber get weak and they look like this now. And again after 2 years, same thing with these goggles. So in 2016 I bought another one. Oh, these are in 2016. 2018 I bought these ones. And then I noticed a few months ago that again this also started to leak. So and I found that somewhere between rubber and glass I noticed that the rubber is in good shape, but the glue came down. Okay, that can be repaired. So I glued that and they're working fine from so far, but just in case I bought another one. So that's why I have 5 Speedo Fastskin Elite Goggles. Actually these two are in perfect conditions now, but one I'm using for training and the others are my spare goggles and I'm using them for competitions. And also for training I'm using this one. It is in very bad shape, but it can be useful so far. And I'm using this 3D printed bridge because it is much more comfortable, because I need size between the largest and the middle size bridge. And yes, they are still my favorite goggles, but I'm always searching for replacements. So I tried these Nabaiji Be Fast. Very similar goggles. Also very low profile, but not so low as a Speedo. For example, I noticed that this has lower profile. This means when I'm swimming and I need some orientation, when I lift my head from the water, I must lift my head higher with these Nabaiji Be Fast, because they have higher profile. So to see the same spot I have to lift my head higher than with this Speedo version. One more thing which I don't like too much with this Be Fast and I like with this Speedo is the rubber, edge of the rubber is not so sharp. So you know those lines after swimming? Well, with Speedo those lines are much smaller than with this Nabaiji or even the Arena goggles. Somehow, I don't know, probably the edge of this rubber is sharper with the other goggles. I don't know the reason, but I really like that those lines are not so big with this. Because yes, I also tried these Arena Cobra. I know it's pink, but it was 50% sale. And I have 3 daughters anyway, so. But I don't use them. I give this to my daughters, but they are using it for hobby swimming only, they are not swimmers. So, what else should I mention? The mirror, not mirror. Well, I noticed that mirror version are a little bit darker, so if you will use your goggles only in a swimming pool inside, indoor, then maybe not mirror versions are better. Mirror versions are maybe too dark for inside. For open water swimming, when you swim outside and you have a lot of shining from the waves and similar, then the mirror version is more useful because you don't get so much shine from the waves and it's easier to orientate yourself outside. If you care about looks, I don't know, decide yourself. Mirror, not mirror, mirror. Mirror, scratch mirror. Arena Cobra, not mirror. Pink. Nabaiji Be Fast, mirror. Swedish Goggles, not mirror. Nabaiji, but I don't know the exact model. Arena, but also I don't know exact model. No name model, not mirror. Let me know in comments if you have similar experience with them. So I'm not sure, is this done on purpose to force swimmers to buy new goggles every 2 years? I'm not sure, because for example, these goggles, of course these goggles, some of them are more than 10 years old and they're in perfect condition. But since this is a review, maybe you would like to see what's in the box. Let me show you the unboxing of my latest goggles. Well, that's it. That's my review of these Speedo goggles, which I'm using now for 7 years so far. They are still my favorite goggles. I like them really much. I really don't like these two things. I don't like that this rubber is so weak. After 2 years you have to buy a new goggles. And the other thing is that this is not so expensive. So why do we get only 3 size bridges? There is 4 millimeters difference between them. Come on, there are people between those sizes too. So, well, I solved this problem by 3D printing one, but it would be good if we would get in package, I don't know, 3 more sizes. Well, that's it. I hope you find this review useful, and thank you for watching and keep swimming. Bye.